Howdy guys, I'm Jason, and here on the AutoEdits channel, I've been known to clean a thing or two as I do my installs and repairs, and I thought this would be a nice video to share some of those techniques. Those are kind of interspersed throughout a bunch of other videos on the channel. So in this video, I have 3 segments. I'm gonna show you first how to super clean your wheels. These are the wheels off of the 2013 Range Rover here, and they have years of baked on brake dust that just won't budge on these things. So I'm gonna show you how to make them look like that with medium effort. So there you go. And then I'll show you how to get your engine bay and your engine compartment spruced up. And I have that broken down into overall cleaning plus individual component cleaning. Then I'll wrap things up with a bunch of tips on how to make your wheel wells. Just detail those things out, make them look fresh and nice. So as promised, we're gonna get started with the super cleaning of this wheel right here. This is off of an 11-year-old vehicle with over 160,000 miles on it. So the brake dust on this thing is just absolutely baked on. It has been washed multiple times, and yet there it is. Also in this video, I'll link to all of the products that I'm gonna use to do this. There's just a couple of different ones. There's not a lot of different stuff. For the wheels, we use the SuperClean All Wheel Cleaner. It's just this weird magic that just works so well. Now, SuperClean also makes their regular flavor, and the regular SuperClean is like the Frank's Red Hot of cleaning products. I just use it on just about everything. Pretty much the skankiest of the stains is gone. So let's get this thing cleaned up. Let's show you. All right, we'll start with the back, the toughest part first, and that's the inside here. We'll go ahead and just get it wet. I find that this stuff likes the water. And just put a bunch on here. That's the key now. Get it covered. And the 2 brushes I use are just kind of what you would say a medium to soft, and we'll get going first with just getting this stuff worked in. You can kind of see how this is just starting to cut through this. And that's what you want to do now, is just get, and what I find is you just use this to break through the first layer here. So you can just see how where that stuff you couldn't even scratch through, now it's starting to go through. Literally a minute's worth of scrubbing and we're already at this level of clean. Makes me pretty happy. So again, going in with our magic elixir here, and you can see now that there's much less brown puddles in the scrub areas, and that's how you know you're pretty much there. And again, the water is your friend when you're doing this. I found that when I'm working on the Jeep with those wheels, especially with the raw aluminum like those are, any time you let this dry, it will stain bare aluminum. So you gotta be a little bit aware, or just heads up on it. So, all right, good enough for the girls I go out with. Let's do the top, or the front. We'll just give it a quick spray down. We'll go ahead and give it the once over, especially in the lug nuts here. There's a bunch of junk down in here. And there you have it. We can now dry it off and hit it with some fine tuning. Like I want to take off some of the old sticker residue from the old wheel weights over the years and just hit it with some speed wax and make it fancy. But other than that, you can kind of get the idea. This thing looks pretty amazing. All right, let's get this thing dried off. Much better. So this little rubber pad just chews up the whatever residue, tape residue is left here. So let's hit it. This is just a general purpose adhesive remover. Spray a little bit of that in there. Now that we have this clean to an acceptable level, let's go ahead and start gussying it up and make it look pretty. So I'm gonna use, normally I would just hit it with the speed wax, but since I kind of dug in there with the adhesive remover and some acetone, it's duller than the other wheel, so let's go ahead and do that. So that's just this cheap old Meguiar's wax. We're just gonna put a little bit of that inside here. And this is just good old-fashioned car finish 101. We're just gonna refresh the paint with a little bit of wax. Again, you can notice here the inside of the spokes, you can actually see the aluminum where the paint didn't get to, and it's actually aluminum color instead of brown brake dust color. I love that. Even though you'll never see that from the outside, you and I will know. And that's what matters. Just makes me happy to do this stuff sometimes. Now, while I finish putting a little bit of wax on this wheel and gusseting it up, let me show you one of the other cleaning tips I wanted to share with you. And for that, we head to the engine department. First, I'll show you how to do an overall underhood cleanup. Start by spraying some degreaser on a warm but not hot engine. I'll follow that with a little scrubbing and extra attention in problem areas. Rinse well. Most modern engines are fairly weather resistant, but use some common sense when shooting water into sensitive areas. I like to start the vehicle after my rinse down to make sure I didn't foul anything up and to fling some of the sitting water around before drying and detailing. Here's where things get fun. Sometimes I'll spray things down with a penetrating oil, like WD-40 or whatever brand is your jam, and that adds a layer of protection and glossy goodness to the engine bay. Just be careful not to get that stuff directly on the serpentine belt, but otherwise you can be pretty generous with that. And you can see this before and after really shows off how good a quick engine cleanup can look. Plus, a clean engine is a happy engine. It's just science. I also do some individual item cleanups sometimes and use a few different products when I do that. During some Jeep maintenance recently, I wanted to freshen up the intake and other engine parts while I was there. And a great tip for that type of work is grabbing a can of good old-fashioned regular gunk engine cleaner and a cheap paintbrush. After scrubbing the dirt and grime off, brush another layer of that gunk on the parts to give them a nice shine. Keep in mind, there's no real magic to this, it just takes a little effort, and the reward is having a nice, clean engine bay. And that is how I keep the engine bays looking good in all my rigs. And a clean engine is a happy engine. Everybody knows that. It's science. So we're doing really good on this wheel here. Now, while I finish the outside of this wheel, I'm going to send you on off to our third cleaning tip on how to clean wheel wells and detail and freshen up those things as well. See you in a minute. Here's my technique for pulling off what I'm calling a half Jason on the wheel wells and suspension bits just for this video. Start by spraying some SuperClean around the area and scrub that in a bit with a rag or brush. And use a bit of soapy water as a chaser while you clean. Full strength SuperClean can leave some stains on bare aluminum parts. Dry everything off as best you can with a rag or compressed air, or both. Now it's time for the final touch. Spray some penetrating oil or whatever your favorite WD-40 type oil is on everything and wipe that in. Be careful not to get that oil on your brakes. I would normally use a plastic bag to cover mine during that part of the procedure, but on this day I was about to replace all of these brakes anyway. All of these products are available in the AutoEdits Amazon store, and there's a convenient hyperlink in the description. And that's Chassis and Wheel Well 101 on how I maintain those around here. We're gonna finish off this wheel, speaking of, with the little bit of speed wax. Now, this stuff right here is just a detail wax, and this is a great top or final move here. So I put a little bit of wax on before that last segment, and now we're just gonna come in, lightly mist the whole thing, and then just wipe it. And this stuff will just, you could just see how it makes that little bit of wax that we just put on there just absolutely glow and shine. So there you go. We have just gussied up the wheels on this thing, hit the reset button of decades of just tons of baked on brake dust. And especially now that we're running the Z36 on the Range Rover, this just won't even be a thing here in the future. And that's why this is a worthwhile investment. And maybe, let me know if you want to see in a video of how to clean up this, how to fix some of this curb rash here. I didn't want to mix too many things. That's why I wanted to gather those cleaning tips all in one video for you. So now we have 3 of the big main systems of your vehicle covered. So there you go. We have some very clean and fresh wheels to slap back on this thing. Yeah. Man, I just love this thing. It's so much fun to drive in. Look at it laid out in low mode. I mean, it's just crazy fun. There's a few tips and tricks to help you keep your vehicle looking snazzy. Hope you guys got something from this. Hope to see you guys again soon. Until next time, enjoy your drive. Thanks for watching. Oh man, gotta get me out of the shot. That's the good stuff.